could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
Hi, ladies. Welcome back to my channel. So, I wanted to talk about the Candy Burst and Todd situation really quickly because I think there are some important lessons that we can all learn from this situation, specifically as it pertains to being a woman of means or simply being a woman who has more money than a man and choosing wisely when you date, because I've said this time and time again, and so many other people have said it. Like, as a woman, you are at a detriment when you date down, when you date a man who makes less than you. If he does not have at least at the very minimum, an equal amount of money than you, 9 times out of 10, it does not work well when you date someone who earns less than you. Because even though that man will stick around and use you to his advantage for financial gain, he will resent you. And the moment that he gets what he wants and he's done siphoning you, he will retaliate, whether it's in getting a divorce so that he can be separated from you, whether it's in cheating, abuse, humiliation, whatever it is, he will do it. So just as a background, it looks like Mama Joyce and the old lady gang, as they call it, so Mama Joyce's sister, Candy's aunts, were right all along about Todd and his intentions. It's almost prophetic because there was a meme about one of Candy's aunts where she said the infamous line, it was a scheme set up by Todd to come to Candy with the BS, pretty much saying that Todd is setting up a scheme to scam Candy out of her money. This meme went viral again just before Candy announced her divorce. And from the beginning, Mama Joyce and her sisters made it clear that they did not like or respect Todd because he made less money than Candy and he's with Candy for money. And even though Mama Joyce and her sisters are like the stereotypical loudmouth black woman, okay, they were right in the sense that they came from, I can't even say that they came from, because a lot of black women think like Candy from that generation, but at least they had the good sense to know that it was a man's responsibility to provide and take care of the family, and that the only way that he can do that as a man is if he's providing financially. Not this modern sense of, oh, he can take care of the family by assuming the role of the feminine and like taking care of the kids. And so because he did not conform to that societal standard of, the man taking care of the family in the traditional sense, Mama Joyce and them did not respect him. And you could say that family strain is what caused this divorce to happen, which can happen if you don't have boundaries, but this doesn't appear to be the case. They claim that the divorce was for irreconcilable differences, which, for the reasons that I mentioned before, like a lot of conflict and back and forth, could have been the reason why they ultimately decided to end it. But that just goes to my point. A lot of times when marriages end because of irreconcilable differences, usually it has something to do with finances, and usually it has to deal with you were once like in a 50-50 situation, or you were in a situation where you out-earned your man, and because he felt threatened by you, it caused a lot of resentment. And that could have very well been the case. And a lot of times you will hear situations where even though the man willingly chose to be in a relationship with a woman who makes more money than him for his own financial gain, a lot of times he tries to get his lick back on the woman, so to speak, by cheating. He tries to repair his fractured masculinity, if you will, by being with a woman who makes less than him, because by him being with a woman who makes less than him, it kind of signifies that she respects his authority as the man in the relationship, and he's able to show up and function as a leader, provider in that traditional sense. So a lot of times when you see a situation again where the man is in a relationship with a woman who makes more than him, and he's like, oh, I don't care about that, I don't mind being in a relationship with that, it's modern, I don't believe in gender roles, 9 times out of 10 it is a lie. Maybe he believes in that for his relationship with a woman that he chose to marry, or his main woman, but a lot of times he gets tired of it, even if he believed that at the beginning, and he will try to find a way to repair his masculinity, and he will do that by cheating because he assumed the role of a bitch in his relationship, where he is with a very successful, high-powered woman, and he feels emasculated by that because it's like, well, she's a woman, and like society was set up by men for men. Men have an easier chance at earning more than women, like how come she was able to earn more than you and you weren't able to use your male privilege to earn more for your woman and take care of her? But I want to call attention to Todd demanding primary custody and contesting the prenup as being the actual reason why he wanted to get a divorce and his overall intentions and motives. I don't believe, again, that it was irreconcilable differences, because I don't think that he was in the relationship to actually like be in the relationship in good faith to actually be with Candy because he loved her and he wanted to build a family and blah blah blah. I think that the old lady gang and Mama Joyce were right from the beginning in that, like, he wanted to use Candy for what she has. Candy had more money than him from her group Escape and other business ventures. And unfortunately, there's been like a lot of news in the press about Candy's businesses going down. And Todd is probably seeing that things were not the way that they were before. The ship is probably sinking. And so now he's thinking, okay, let me just get out of this situation before it gets worse, because being with Candy no longer serves me. And yes, Candy is the one who actually filed for divorce, which also speaks to my point. She was likely burnt out by being the one to fund all of Todd's business ventures, only for them to fail and not give her a return on her investment. And so as a woman, when you are constantly the one who's in the masculine, doing what the man should be doing, looking about the finances, whatever, while he sits back and plays make-believe with your money, eventually you're going to get burnt out and tired and resent him. And that is likely why she was the one who filed. And now he's trying to spite her and trying to hold on to her money even further by demanding primary custody and by contesting the prenup so that he can get half of her fortune. And on top of that, he's also filing for primary custody of the children, which is very unheard of for a man to do, especially a Black man, no shade. Usually they are more than willing to walk away and let the mother raise the children on her own. But in this case, I think that it's very important to note that, his intention is probably to be awarded primary custody of his two children, so that not only, like, if he was not successful with the prenup, or if he was, he can get alimony, he'd be also entitled to child support for each of the two children. He is finding every legal way possible to gain access to her money because he doesn't have any money of his own. If he truly cared and loved Candy and they really couldn't work through their relationship, whatever, he would just walk away with what he had. He would just honor the prenup that he signed and, try to find a way to have joint custody so the kids can benefit from having both parents around. But he wants to spite the children because, let's face it, when you try to take children away from their mother, even though they need both parents, the children are the ones who end up suffering because traditionally, whether we like it or not, it's the mothers who offer that nurturing, caring role. And especially like if he takes a daughter, like if he takes a son, whatever, you can teach the son how to be a man. But if he takes his daughter, that's going to be a much harder adjustment for her to go through, the daughter, because a man cannot teach a woman how to be a woman. So anyway, moving past the gossip, this is why, and I'm going to reiterate this point again, this is why it is important to date or marry your equal, at the very least, marry up or remain single, so that you're less likely to fall victim to financial manipulation, just like Oprah did in not marrying Stedman, or you marry up like Serena did with Alexis Ohanian. These relationships very seldom fail. Yes, I do say that it's important for you to have your own money so that you're not financially manipulated in another way. Like, you cannot control your coming and going and how much money you deserve to have and whatever. But for the most part, traditional relationships work best because we are honoring traditional gender roles that we've been hard-coded to follow. Again, I talk about Serena Williams. I'm mentioning her because she's successful, she has it all, but she's still in a hypergamous relationship, which goes to show that yes, you can be successful, you can have it all, and still have a healthy, happy, hypergamous relationship. It is possible. That is a common talking point that people like to use to fearmonger, especially with Black women, but other races of women experience this too, where they're like, oh, if you're too successful, you either have to dumb yourself down and stop being as successful because you're not going to be able to attract a good man who's equally as successful or more, or you have to be willing to be single, whatever, because again, like men are going to be intimidated by your level of success. And that's only true if you, as a Black woman, limit yourself to just your community, which is why I say it's important to date out, because unfortunately, Black men are not earning the way that to the same magnitude as Black women are. It's not even a thing that's unique to Black women only. Like, again, Adele is a prime example of her getting with a man, a Black man, who earns significantly less than her. So this is an experience that women from all races, multiple races, are experiencing as well. Or just be happy being single. Like, there's really nothing wrong with being secure within yourself, finding happiness within yourself over choosing to be in a relationship with someone at the expense of your well-being and your happiness, just because you want to prove that you're able to get a man and keep a man. And this is also why a lot of poor men, as an aside, tend to be hypersexual, because they are using their ding-dongs to compensate for the fact that they cannot be a man financially. They cannot fulfill their role as being a man by having money. So they overcompensate by saying, oh, I got this D that no other man is going to be able to give you, and you need this strong stallion and blah, 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 because that's all they have to offer, right? So if they show up in the over exaggerated sense of what it means to be a man, which is to have girth and strength and rock your woman's world, then a lot of guys, that's why they do that. So that's why, like, every dancehall song, every rap song, every social media influencer, they always tend to be hypersexualized, because a lot of them are broke. I say all this to say, Candy will be fine. She can afford a very good legal team, but she's worked very hard. Candy has amazing work ethic, and people will make jokes and say that she can't sing and that she sings off key. But the fact of the matter is, she has done what most people will not do, is that she's used whatever resource she has and whatever talent she has to compound that, to privilege that, and to make her life better. And that's why now she's a multimillionaire. And the people who are hating are broke. I really hope that this situation works out for Candy, where the prenup is able to remain intact. He's not able to take her for half of her money. And if she doesn't want to lose custody of her children, I hope that she's able to keep them. They probably will live a better life with her, because she can afford nannies and private school and whatever, the way that she did with her oldest daughter. But for the rest of us who are not as well off as Candy, learn from her. And also just regular women that you see in your neighborhoods, your communities, many of you in your family, where very seldom does it work out, where the relationship will last when the woman earns more than the man. That's all I have to say on that. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.